Here we go, Tuesday the 7th of April, it's 9:20, 20 minutes past 9. talkSPORT Breakfast, Ali and Gabby with you this morning. Now, this is magic, it really is. After steering Bristol City to a 1-0 win over Sheffield United yesterday, the 78-year-old Roy Hodgson has maintained a 100% start to his second spell at Ashton Gate following his debut victory at Charlton. Despite the fairy tale return, he downplayed any talk of a long-term future, but in Sunday edition, talkSPORT's Henry Winter can see a world where Roy does in fact stay beyond the summer.
It's just remarkable. I mean, he's a monument to a passion for the game, and he is a good coach. I mean, you can find some of the football maybe a little bit sort of just not necessarily the most exhilarating, but he's still there and he's still loving it.
Absolutely lovely, and I'm delighted to say that joining us now is a man who's managed over 1,000 games as Bristol City's manager, Roy Hodgson. Roy, very good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, Ali. Gabby, how are you both?
We're in great form, Roy. Mate. Listen, Roy, I have to say to you, you might recall, I had the fortune of meeting you maybe a few months ago. You were walking, I think we were walking down the King's Road. You were coming one way, I was going the other. You'd just been for a lovely lunch and with a chat for about 10 minutes. You didn't look or sound like a man who some 3 or 4 months later would be heading back to the dugout to places like Charlton.
I think that's a very good observation. I think I remember the meeting, I remember the walk on quite a nice sunny day, and I also didn't think that you were talking to someone who would launch himself back into work like I'd done. It would take far too long, and it would be a whole programme perhaps to analyse my decision and to analyse my state of mind when I accepted the invitation. But I did it, and so far so good in the sense that it has been enjoyable to be back for the last week or 7 or 8 days and get back onto the grass and be in a footballing environment with football players and coaches and all the people that I've always loved working with. So I have enjoyed that. But having said that, it's been quite a test as well of both my mental and physical capacity, because I seem to have been living on paracetamol for the last 8 days.
Roy, you last managed Bristol City in the 1980s. I wanted to ask you, what do you like about football now and hate about football now compared to then?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, they told me just to come and have a chat with you, but you've given me one of the most difficult questions I think I've received
Ali sent it me
in the last few years. And football is football. I mean, you both played as well during the time when I've been coaching, not quite as far back as when I started, but during, I suppose, the middle or heyday of my career, you were both playing. You will agree with me that football has changed. The styles change. And I think what has changed most of all is how players are looked after, how they're treated, how much more physically adept they are now than perhaps they were in the past, because the medical and the sports science side of the game has blossomed to an incredible extent, as have, of course, the pitches, the balls we play with. The rules, to some extent, have helped a little bit, especially in terms of playing football, because the tackles from behind got outlawed many years ago. So I think a lot has gone on in the game to make it a better game and a better prospect. It's faster. Players are quicker and stronger physically. But otherwise, I don't know that the basics have changed. Good players are always good players, and it's still about having enough skill, attacking-wise, to create goal chances and take them, and defending. It's always going to be about knowing where you should be, having a good shape, and being able to defend the ball when it comes in your area.
Roy, I've got to say to you, mate, a couple of good victories. Obviously, Charlton and the 1-0 victory at the weekend. I think you've had a couple of... I mean, it's a tough league. That is... Gabby and I speak about it often, Roy. What a league it is. QPR coming up. I think Norwich as well. I mean, could you see a chain of events where you continue winning, Roy, and you're actually... you're not allowed to leave? How does that sound?
Well, they'd probably have to lock me up, I suppose, and once more they'd have to tranquilise my wife, who has been so good at accepting the fact that we have moved down here, because she's moved down with me. I think I'd have found it hard to do it, in a hotel by myself. I would have found that hard when I was just starting off and full of enthusiasm for having a job. It's even harder now when I've had lots of jobs and I'm getting a lot older. So I've got to say I don't really want to. I made it clear, or it was made clear to me, that what they wanted me to do was to come in for this 7-game period to, try and introduce, if you like, my way, what they think I can bring from experience and way of working, and hopefully hoping that maybe the players and even gain something from that. But most important of all, to give them the chance to steady a ship and to bring back hopefully a little bit of hope for the future, while they then take on the very difficult task of finding someone who's going to be the sporting director and the new manager for the club. So at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, that's what it is, and I hope I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, I've been lucky so far to enjoy 2 victories, but I must say I haven't enjoyed the last 20, 25 minutes of the 90 either of those 2 games. Because there's been too many balls raining into my penalty area. In the Premier League, we didn't see that often.
Roy, I was going to ask you, well, we've got you on, if I may. Well documented that the England international friendlies didn't go particularly well or according to plan in terms of the results or indeed the performances. Are people like myself that would tend to do it reading too much into these friendly games pre-World Cup, or was it just a little bit of a reminder that there's still work to be done?
Well, that's another good question. I mean, I think the point is, your job involves reading into things and making judgments and trying to sort of read the future a little bit, whereas I, from the outside, don't have that obligation, as it were. But I do think that every game you play, an international level in particular, is a little bit of a reminder that this is not going to be easy. When draws are made and your group is put before you, especially as people look at the group, they say, well, this doesn't look too bad. Yeah, we should beat them, we should beat them. But then you suddenly play against these teams or see, you realise that actually not too bad at all. And what I saw in the Japan game, I thought they looked very good indeed in every respect. And also the same with Bielsa's Uruguay. I thought they were very well organised, pressurised the ball well, made it very difficult for the ball holder to even keep the ball, let alone find a good pass. So I just think that you're playing Uruguay and Japan, everyone goes, well, that's a couple of nice, easy little warm-up games for us. But really and truly, you're playing top-class opponents. And it's an important reminder for you that this is what the World Cup is, and these are the teams we're going to play, even in the early stages, let alone the latter stages. So I think the game can be very useful for the manager and coach in that respect.
Roy, I was going to say to you, because I'm running out of time, but I've got to mention it. It's something that coaches up this side, the north of the border, don't get an opportunity to do an awful lot, and that is wear sunglasses, my friend. You were looking quite magnificent at the touchline, I have to tell you.
Well, you know what? They're not sunglasses, actually. They're reading. They're long distance glasses.
Okay.
So I have them for driving, and luckily they change according to the weather. So if the sun sort of starts to come out, they go a bit darker. So I wasn't aware of that. I knew that was what they were bought for, but I've never seen them in action.
Well, I can tell you, according to my children, they're a big hit in social media, mate. So there you are.
Very good. Oh well, nice to be a hit in social media as you approach your 79th birthday.
Absolutely. Listen, Roy, fantastic.
Thank you, Roy.
Continued success to you. Lovely to see you and hear you, and thanks very much again for your time this morning, mate.
Thanks, both of you. All the best, sir.
Thanks very much. Amazing. Hey, I'm just looking at some of the stats here, Gab. Managed in 8 different countries. Isn't that? That's just amazing.
Ali, like, the players are so lucky as well to have a manager who's experienced. How much can you learn from him?
Brilliant.
But it's a total different era, Ali. I remember even 2018, my last year at Villa, under Steve Bruce. The players are different now, Ali. You can't have a go at some of these younger players, Ali.
I know.
You have to put an arm around them, mate. You can't be the old school hammering, mate.
Don't even think about going there, man.
You can't do it.
I need to be honest here. I didn't get too many cuddles for Graham Souness and Jock Wallace or even Walter at that
Getting
point.
chased around the training ground.